future belongs to service providers who innovate without limits. That's why the fastest growing service providers are choosing the NetSapiens platform. Visit netsapiens.com.
Hey everybody, it's Doug Green and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News, and I'm very pleased to have with me today Laura Lehman, who is the Director of Digital Experience at GTT. Laura, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you, Doug, for having me. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
Well, we're going to be talking about the GTT EnvisionDX, which is more than just a new experience. It's a new way of really doing a lot of things. It seems like it's going to cut down the amount of time and wear and tear and so on a lot of people. It's something to take a look at. But before we get into the details on that, first of all, what is GTT?
Yeah, absolutely. So GTT is a leading networking and security as a service provider for large multinational organizations. And we very much focus on, simply and securely connecting people and machines to data and applications all over the world, and really work on kind of addressing and simplifying some of our customers' problems, which is what I believe EnvisionDX can help do.
All right. So yeah, let's dive right into it. What is GTT EnvisionDX?
Great question. I love it. So GTT EnvisionDX is our digital experience gateway. So it gives our customers and partners one place to purchase, manage, and customize their GTT networking and security services. We have been really focused on our digital experience. We are making big investments in it to kind of enhance the tool to make a kind of maybe historically slow and complex buying process faster, more transparent, and much easier to manage. So customers and our partners can generate real-time firm quotes and orders for single sites, for multi-sites in a bulk situation. We'll validate their address. We'll give them full, quoting and ordering options for services, connectivity, etc. And in addition to that, give them stronger site level visibility into their services, their performance, and overall these enhancements help our organizations hopefully move from more of manual processes, maybe fragmented systems, towards a more automated way to manage their global networking and security services.
So there's been kind of a time-honored way of doing this, I think. Is that what I'm hearing? And
Yes.
Briefly, what did that feel like? It sounds like it was slow.
Yes. So I would say traditionally, not always, but traditionally, there's been a lot of kind of slow quoting and ordering because in a lot of cases, organizations are buying, not necessarily simple one size fits all service. They could have multiple different sites globally with very different set of variables in terms of what they're looking for, what they need, even what is available, right? As well as what it takes to like install and support the service. Address validation has also historically been quite difficult, especially in remote locations, new locations, or for companies who, maybe are headquartered in one place but have locations all over the world. So for those kind of global companies adding or changing services, that validation process takes a lot of time, very, very manual, right? Understanding where that address is, kind of what's at that location. And that takes a lot of time before they can really know what's there, what it will cost, and how quickly they can move forward. And we've really tried to simplify that process by bringing accurate quoting, ordering, address validation, and then as well their site level information into that single platform.
In fact, we have like a little visual that we can share to kind of show how that, what that actually looks like. So I'm gonna pull that up. All right. So first of all, what are we looking at here? It looks like we have a woman looking at, and I know it's a small image on the screen, but she's looking at a map.
Absolutely. So the idea is that EnvisionDX helps you from the entire life cycle, right? So full visibility and transparency in what's happening from, hey, I need to add a new site and get a quote going, or add multiple sites and get a quote going, knowing exactly what's there, what's available, all the way through the full life cycle of service delivery, making sure that service is installed, the equipment is delivered, as well as monitoring and managing all of those services. So what's happening? Is the site up, down? How's my utilization? What's going on at those sites? And proactively automating a lot of those processes so that you have full visibility across all of your services within EnvisionDX.
And looking at this screen, is that all real-time information she's seeing?
Absolutely.
All right. So now then you shared with us this, and this sounds like now we're actually engaging the system to place information and get feedback back.
Yeah, absolutely. So this kind of looks at, for a single site, address validation, because we hear that so often from our
Hmm.
customers and our partners around such a pain point of how do we validate the address? How do we make sure we have the right address? And so that we're not, coming back later or after the fact to clarify, maybe have to redo some components. And so we use multiple address validation tools to be able to say exactly where that address is. We give you the icon location in a map view with the lat and the long, as well as you can kind of take that little pin, the little green pin that you see there, move it along, which will change the lat and long so that we can get the most accurate quoting, the most accurate address validation for you, which hopefully will solve a lot of these pain points for our customers.
And I can already see that here you're also avoiding issues and problems. If you can see if visually the visual matches up with where you think the site that you're looking at does that make
Exactly.
sense?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're exactly correct because in a lot of cases, when in a lot of our conversations with our partners and with our customers, they may get an address and the person actually doing the quote isn't necessarily familiar, but when they see it on a map, they can say, "Ooh, is that right?" And it triggers just that double check and avoiding more of that error and being very, very clear about where you're actually quoting to.
So then there's another slide here, and I'll zoom in on this a little bit. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, so once you've entered in that address information and it's validated, then we run all of our automated checks with all of our APIs as well as with hundreds of other providers that we have not APIs with to be able to provide the most accurate, firm pricing for you for all the different vendors we have available. We're also very clear about what those prices are right up front immediately. What is the MRR and the NRR? If this is an on-net vendor to GTT, on-net to the vendor, as well as if they're a preferred supplier or not with us. So you have all of the information right at your fingertips, as clear as possible to help make the best decision possible.
So how does this, and I know there's more, but how is what we're looking at different from, the way we used to do it or historically people are doing it even now?
Yeah, no, great question. And really, for us, it's about simplifying the overall process, automating as much of the process as possible, and then giving you a differentiated experience. So, simplify, automate, and differentiate. We want to make it as easy as possible for our customers to use the tool, to add their sites, to have all the information that they need, and not have to wait on manual processes. And so, giving that address validation, giving those service options and those connectivity options right away within minutes, hopefully can help speed up that process in terms of discovery of what they're looking for, comparing their options. And of course, GTT is always around to help as well.
So you have basically Gen AI powered address validation. How does EnvisionDX help customers move away from the fragmented portals that that you've discussed just now?
Yeah, and the generative AI address validation is great because especially if you are a customer with hundreds of sites, you can just upload a spreadsheet that you have with no formatting, no templates whatsoever, and we will use AI to pull out those addresses to run that address validation and then give you that pricing back within minutes. And really, what we're trying to do here, especially with a lot of that AI address validation and all the focus, is give them a very centralized site level view of all of their GTT services. So we want to show them the insights for each site from performance, connectivity, the spend, right? Any events that are going on, just to give IT and security teams a clear picture of their environment and help them kind of manage these global networking and security services more efficiently. Really focused on that end-to-end view throughout the whole life cycle with the customer, from quote all the way through to, like regular life cycle management.
Laura, when you guys were developing this, was this driven by customer? Was this customer driven?
Yes, absolutely. We were so focused on our customers, how they were feeling about things, what they wanted. We spent so much time in conversations with them trying to understand kind of, their pain points. We heard, interestingly, a lot of the same things across many of the industry verticals we serve. We heard the call for faster, more intuitive ways to manage these complex environments, especially within all of our partners. So we worked very, very closely with our partner sales, quoting, and executive teams to understand those pain points. And really develop based on what they were saying. So this is an investment in our partners as well. And we are continuing that feedback loop still today to allow us to focus on enhancements and fixes and changes that have positive impacts to their kind of enterprises. And overall, we really are just focusing on how do we simplify their experience, how do we reduce the friction, and really drive value and outcomes that our customers are looking for.
Beyond the things that we've immediately seen today, is this going to change the way people basically manage the network at the enterprise level?
Absolutely. Right. I think that a lot of these tools will make some of these network management kind of components faster, smarter, easier, in a lot of cases proactive, right? We very much are looking at how do we reduce manual, repeatable work, give people more information and insights using AI, and as well give, IT and systems teams better visibility into what is happening or what could be happening across their network. So we're going to see a lot of different changes and hopefully see a lot of additional quoting and ordering through our partners and our customers because we will be simple, automated, and differentiated in the experience for them.
Laura, I really want to thank you for joining me today. Thank you for giving us a brief overview of the announcement. Thanks for you and your team sharing some visuals for us to actually see what it looks like, kind of feel the experience. Where can we learn more about GTT EnvisionDX and GTT itself?
Absolutely. Well, definitely on gtt.net. We have lots of information and resources available to you there. And then, of course, reach out as well, and anyone from GTT can assist. We are so glad to have been able to share this with you today, and I loved chatting with you.
Laura, thank you very much indeed.
You are so welcome.
Innovate without limits, scale without compromise, and never pay per seat again. Discover why providers choose netsapiens.com.